What's up, YouTube community? Just coming at you guys with another quick video. Yesterday on 10.6, there was a new patch. 11.20 came out. Not a lot of changes today to go over, but we're gonna go over these real quick. Some nerfs here. Taliyah jungle. Um, that's probably good. High ELO change. Not really a good low ELO pick. Uh, she can't really skirmish very much in those, you know, uh, really gritty fights that result in low ELO. Like just the really I don't know how to say, just kind of weird clown fiestas that occur. Taliyah's better if people are playing correctly and her team is around her. So high low change there. Amumu getting a nerf on the support. Obviously, that's a good change. The new changes to Amumu with the W make it completely broken in support role. Pretty much everybody knows about that. Singed top lane nerf. That's another. That's one I'm not really sure it's necessary. I don't see the need for that. But we'll talk about that later. Jarvan jungle nerf. That's probably a good thing. The buff he received a couple patches ago was really strong, and he's just been picked constantly. He's just got a ton of damage, upfront damage, and easy engage. So definitely a good nerf there. You know, we need to put him in like just a medium position. Irelia mid. Really, this one turns out to be a top and mid nerf. Pretty significant nerf. It's not really going to change things for us though. It's we'll talk about that in a second. That's probably what we're going to focus the video on. Shin top, really good nerf. He's busted in high ELO, he's busted in low ELO, he's just busted. Buffs, Darius are trying to get him back into the meta now that the Stride Breaker is not really any good. He's just been in a terrible spot, so they've given him another buff. He received one, I think, a patch or two ago, but he's now receiving another. Talk about that. Elise, buff. Don't really see the necessity of that at all, really. She was, as far as I know, pretty solid. Hecarim and Udyr getting buffs. These guys are two that kind of get buffed and nerfed or out of the meta together based on the itemization for them are very similar, and if the Kim Tank is in a good spot, then these champs are going to be in a good spot. Kim Tank is not very good right now, so these champs haven't been picked very much. I will talk about that. So, Amumu, he's getting mana increase cost. I worded that completely weird. But basically, his mana cost for each Q is going to be 70 at all ranks. That's huge. So if you're level 1 Amumu, you throw 2 Qs, you're going to be probably less than half mana, which is crazy to think about, blowing half your mana up instantly. So that is just really crippling the OP-ness of the support Amumu. It's going to affect his jungle a little bit, but not as much, because he's really not, going for level 1s or level 2s fights when you're jungle Amumu. So you're going to get level 4 or something for you gank, or level 3 at least, and you're going to have a little bit more mana to, your mana pool is going to be a little bit higher to make up for that. So it's really big on support Amumu nerf. So let's go to the next. Darius, W cooldown decreased and no longer scales. This is awesome. Farming on Darius is going to be that much better. At rank 1, going down from 7 seconds to 5 seconds is basically almost almost a third, it's basically a 30% buff. Let's just call it that. So farming is going to be great. Might even try out some Darius top lane and see how it feels. Elise, base health going down, up. Base health going up from 534 to 555. That is going to be, decent. Armor growth 335 to 4. That's a little bit bigger. That's a little bit more important. So she's going to be a little bit stronger against some of these ADs that are dominating right now. Hecarim. W cooldown reduced and no longer scales. Healing against minions and monsters increased. Nice. The W probably... I don't really play Hecarim a lot, but it seems like it's kind of lackluster ability. Kind of seems like a waste of an ability, honestly, a lot of the times. So buffs to that are pretty good. And now to the meat of the video, Irelia. Let's see what they say here. Passive bonus AD ratio at max stacks reduced. So I don't know if that's only nerfed on max stacks. You guys might have to just go into the training tool and find out. The way it's worded, it sounds like it's only nerfed at max stats. So if you were at 3 stacks instead of 4, which 4 is max, obviously, if you're at 3 stacks, maybe it's not nerfed. Maybe it's still the same as it was. Overall, it is pretty big. The max stack AD ratio is going down from 30% to 20%. Basically a 33% nerf. Right? A 1/3 nerf. Which is huge normally, right? And her passive is kind of her bread and butter, right? But we're not too scared about this. This isn't going to stop us from playing Irelia. It's really the itemization that's the problem with her. This is just going to make you change up your playstyle a little bit. For example, a lot of the times we were just tapping our W for the stacks and just going for autos instead of charging the W, because the autos with max stacks were doing so much and lifestealing us, giving us lifesteal as well, allowing us basically, we're not really losing that much health extra, and we're doing a lot extra damage just by tapping that W and getting the stack and just stutter stepping, weaving autos. You'll see that a lot at higher ELOs where it's they're getting as many autos as they can in there because they know how strong her passive is. It's kind of what makes her strong. But this isn't going to stop us. Like I said, we're going to continue to play Irelia. I mean, this is the champ that we play. This is a champ that will get you wins. This is a champ that you can hard carry on. That's not going to change. Her Q farming is not going to change. She's still a turbo farmer. Her W is still really good damage when it's maxed due to the recent buffs. So maxing that second gives you a nice team fighting option, and you still have the OP Gore Drinker Sterak's. So you're still a team fighting. You're still amazing team fighter. You might just instead change your playstyle a little bit and actually charge that W up a little bit longer in certain situations rather than going for the tap W's and to the autos early. So yeah, let's see what they commented here. Playing Irelia late game shouldn't be a total waltz in the park. She's succeeding too easily, especially when she stacks heavy AD items like Sterak's and Gore Drinker. So we're cutting down on the Blade Dancer's passive boost late. So that is a good point. The Gore Drinker and the Sterak's both are heavy on the AD. You're investing a lot for that AD, and now that investment is not going to be quite as scaly. This might bring more building of the hyper carry build with the Bork Rush into Shield Bow or Kraken, depending on their amount of tanks. But honestly, it's probably still going to be Gore Drinker Sterak's meta. Just based on the strength of using those items, also with your W, just the amount of HP you're getting from these items, it really synergizes with the damage reduction on her W. And I think that is what people are kind of they're not really understanding, that one of her biggest strengths of those items is also the HP and the synergy with the W. Use your W smartly, and you won't really worry about this too much. Jarvan, bonus damage, 10% for his pass, 10% of target's health going down to 8% target's current health. So it's really tiny change, but they want to just bring him back down a little bit so he's not just being spam picked, obviously. Shin shield on his passive is getting reduced. That's pretty huge. Especially, I don't know if you guys can read this, but 60 down to 50 at rank 1. That's kind of big because of the amount of times he procs that shield in lane and all that. That's going to be a pretty decent little chunk. And it's just 10 lower at every rank, basically, at every point. So, pretty big early game nerf. It's not huge, but it's decent, right? He's proccing that shield all the time, and that shield is going to be 1/6 less powerful. It's decent. Fling damage on Cinch is now reduced, mostly at the later ranks. This is pretty good. I mean, when he flings somebody, it's almost like he's doing it for the damage a lot of the time, and he doesn't always have to fling strategically. He can basically just fling a lot of time and just use it as a burst tool. That should be changed. So that's a good change there. Talia, Q damage to monsters from subsequent stones from 80% to 75%. Nerfing her clear because at high yellows, I guess her clear is too good. Our cone damage increased. Let's read this one. Tank Phoenix Udyr was a menace in Pro earlier this season thanks to items like Turbo Kim Tank. Meta's changed quite since, and it's left him in a pretty bad state. Reverting the nerf to his R, spread his wings once again. Honestly, I think it's pretty cool. Phoenix Udyr. Maybe we'll see it a little bit more. The cone damage is quite a bit more at the higher ranks now. So, I didn't even track Udyr on him being nerfed and Hecarim and all that, but originally, so I didn't really know that he was, why he was weak. But this makes sense. I mean, I also think Tiger Udyr is viable in low, Udyr in general is just really viable in low ELO. High ELO, I don't really see him being played at all. I can't imagine he's getting played. So, really, it comes down to his lack of he's got a mobility, but he doesn't have any gap close as far as he doesn't have any jump or flash type ability that kind of is the trademark for a good high elo champ. talking about people like Kiana, who can jump all over the place, and that's going to raise the skill ceiling and make it harder to outplay. Udyr is pretty easy to outplay if you just, he's just running around. He's not going to do anything special. You just stop it. You just CC him or whatever. Just CC him. CC him and kill his carries. He can't even run. He can't even get back to them. If you can run past him, you can do anything against that guy. Bunch of bug fixes and smite healing reduced on camps. So this was a big thing. Junglers were literally having to play their skirmishes around when they smite the camp that's nearby. Should they smite it after the other jungler? Should they smite it before? What's the HP of that camp that's nearby of this fight? And it's like early game fights just revolved around that smite, and it was just kind of a coin flippy, weird situations. And I like this change. It feels good if you're a jungler. I think this is kind of like the healing on smite never used to be like that, so we're kind of going back to more of the old days, which is better. That healing is just done on the smite. They might even just remove it completely. I think they should just remove it completely and then, nerf the camps to make up for it. So they might be doing that in the future. We'll see. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. That's the video for patch 11.20, and check you later.